Are you struggling to navigate relationships with religious people after having left religion? I'm a licensed clinical social worker, a licensed therapist, and I was raised homeschooled, Christian, and conservative. My name is Michaela, and I would like to give you 3 tips for navigating relationships with religious people in a way that creates healthy dynamics. Maybe you've been in situations where your mom is crying because she's worried about your eternal soul, or your dad is sending you text after text time and time again using biblical scriptures to support his arguments about things you guys are talking about. Maybe you're on social media and you're seeing people you used to go to church with talk about populations that you care about or maybe even identify with in ways that leave you feeling lesser or negative. Maybe to cope with your mom's feelings, you're feeling guilty or numb, and maybe you're feeling angry that your dad continues to send you these kinds of resources, even though you've told them, I'm not Christian, this means nothing to me, and you want to pull your hair out because they're not getting the picture. Let's look at some things we can do to create healthier dynamics in situations like this that we often face if we have left religion and we still love religious people. Step 1 is to make your opinion of yourself the most important opinion to you. This is something that we can program and condition into ourselves. We're already programmed and conditioned to think that, God's opinion is what's most important based on, ancient texts or what, our pastor has said is God's opinion. We've been conditioned to think that maybe our parents' opinion is what's most important of us, or maybe even our friends. But the brain has neuroplasticity. And so one way or another, we're being conditioned. Let's be empowered and condition ourselves to do what deep down we know is right and true, which is that how we see ourselves is what matters most. This is absolutely true. This is why people can reach their dreams and goals in life. They can make millions of dollars, they can have hundreds of friends, and yet still be distressed on the inside because how they see and feel about themselves isn't that there isn't a strong relationship there. People turn to God for this because they think that my identity as a child of God is what helps me feel good about myself. You don't need religion for that, but that is another topic. We can make our opinion the opinion that matters most to us, our opinion of ourselves, the opinion that matters most to us, by creating the neural pathway, by using our neuroplasticity in the brain to our advantage, by repeating to ourselves thoughts and statements that encourage this way of thinking and feeling, such as living with love and authenticity is what's most important to me. Anytime your brain says it's unsafe because they're thinking negatively about me. No. What matters most to me is living in authenticity and love, and that's what matters most to me. It may not feel entirely true, but the more we practice thinking that thought, the stronger that neural pathway in the brain becomes, and the easier it's going to get to truly feel and believe that way. It will happen in time. So we can make our opinion of ourselves the most important. Another way we can do this is by getting to know ourselves better. And we can do this through therapy, through working with a coach, through practicing introspection. Journaling is really great. And when we have a better sense of who we are and how we came to be who we are, when other people misjudge us, it's not hurtful or dangerous feeling. It's just ignorance. We can just recognize they don't understand. I know I'm this way for a reason. I know who I am. If they're going to judge me, they just don't understand, and we can more easily let it go. The second way that we can work on creating healthier dynamics with religious people by doing our own healing is using thought reframing. Thought reframing is something that is used in cognitive behavioral therapy, which is one of the most widely used and researched types of therapy modalities. And it involves recognizing what is the root of this pain. If mom's crying or dad's pushing, or families discussing politics and you feel like you're going into freeze mode, or people at church or people you used to know from church are saying hurtful things. Why does it bother us? What is behind that? Well, there's some kind of thought, most likely, such as maybe I'm responsible for making sure mom is happy and doesn't cry, or dad doesn't care about me. He doesn't care about my opinions if he's going to continue to do what I ask him not to do, or it's threatening to me if people think lesser of me or lesser of those I care about. This is a mindset thing. This is a thought. And we can recognize what's the thought that's causing or contributing to the distress, we can choose to change that thought. We can tell ourselves, as examples, mom's sadness over my spirituality is her own responsibility to work on managing and hopefully overcoming, through her own research or her own inner work. But I can't do that work for her. Or dad's sending me another Bible verse to make his point. Gosh, this is hilarious. Some people just don't know how to accept things that don't align with what they want to be true. Or, these loving Christians are saying such hurtful things. And that's sad that they are not able to fully experience unconditional love for others, that they're living with so much fear of other people and people who are different than them. Or even in the family politics example, reminding yourself, I don't have to engage. It's not my responsibility to change their mind. It's not even possible for me to change their mind unless they are open to that possibility of being wrong. So thought reframing is really key. The third step is setting boundaries. We do this by being our own best friend. If your best friend was being really mistreated, you wouldn't stand for that. You'd say, hey, that's not cool. That's not fair. Don't talk to them like that. Or maybe if you didn't feel safe to do that, you would say, hey, best friend, let's get out of here. This isn't something we need to deal with. This is something you need to deal with. Let's get out of here. You can do that same thing for yourself. We need to do that same thing for ourselves. So the way we do this is by communicating. We have to communicate our boundaries. Nobody's a mind reader and nobody is psychic. Keep in mind that a boundary is not a rule that you are setting for another person. We can't make rules for other people. We can't make anyone do anything. Boundaries are communicating, ideally with loving and kindness, what we need in order to take care of ourselves. And in some cases, what is needed for us to be able to engage in that relationship. So saying, hey, I can't hang out if you're going to be pushing this topic. And then if they push it anyway, you could say or not say. We talked about you not pushing this topic. I'm going to have to leave. Or just leave. You've already communicated. We can learn from these uncomfortable and difficult experiences. Because guess what? Even without setting the boundaries, uncomfortable and difficult experiences are happening in those relationships, which is damaging to those relationships in the long run. We fear choosing the conflict in the now, but in reality, even if we avoid it, we're contributing to more conflict, more resentment, more tension, and more of a chance of a more severe blow up in that relationship. So when we really care about relationships, we communicate and we take care of ourselves. We respect our own boundaries by following through on what we say we need. Now, if someone gives you a boundary and you really feel like it's not fair, you have a choice to let go of that relationship, and you're giving them that choice too. And this can be really hard, but when we know that we are spiritual beings, and this is something else that my journey has led me to discover, we don't have to hold on to anybody. Working on and developing and building that relationship with ourselves, that is what is the key to true fulfillment and true quality of life. And it doesn't mean we're going to be loners. That's not true fulfillment, not forever, because we are social creatures. I can go on and on into it, but remember, build your view of yourself, your value of your view of yourself, so that other people's opinions don't affect you so much. Work on thought reframing. This takes awareness of our thoughts and then practice of reframing those thoughts so we don't have to be a victim to the automatic offense that comes to us when someone says or does something that is triggering. And 3, set your boundaries. Be your own best friend. Protect yourself, take care of yourself. It doesn't have to be out of anger and defense. It can be a loving thing, a way to nourish and nurture and take care of the relationship with your religious loved ones. So try out these techniques. Let me know if you have any questions. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.